Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM. Brought to you proudly by Tennessee Wildlife Resource Agency, Barton Power Sports, Sportsman's Warehouse, and Best Care Home Services.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. Boy, we're speeding along. And yes, that voice is not Frank Barton. Who
I would say at the speed of light, but I guess radio we're the speed of sound.
We're definitely the speed of sound.
Yeah.
As we go into our 17th year on the air here in Memphis, Tennessee, Dave Gabbert.
Morning.
From the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency, Region 1 Information Officer, but we lovingly call him the Minister of Propaganda. And he's sitting in for Frank Barton. We'll check in with Frank a little later in the show from Palestine, Texas, where he's at the Master National Retriever Club with over 900 dogs. And he is in charge of keeping track of all of them. It's an amazing job. This is the time of year, the wonderful weather we've had in Memphis in the past week, and we've had our hurricanes, and we've had one after another, it seems like. And I was a camper younger in life and spent many, many, many nights at a KOA, and it's just an amazing history when you think about it. And I didn't realize this how much history that we're involved in KOA, and the years it's been in operation is pretty amazing too. So we're going to talk camping on Outdoors with Larry Ray. Not only in this segment, we've got the next segment with a good friend of ours from Browning Camping. He's going to come in and talk about, but we're privileged to have with us today on Outdoors with Larry Ray Mike Gast. He is the Vice President of Communications at Campgrounds of America, better known as KOA. I think if there's one of the few things in the world, you say KOA.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you might not even know what that stands for, but you know what a KOA is.
Yeah.
And have you've been?
Yeah, I've got a camper. I've camped at KOAs before.
Me too.
Yeah.
I even camped at one right across the river in Arkansas. It's a nice one.
Yeah.
Not too far from here.
And when the statute of limitations run out, you'll be able to go back.
Well, that's right. Yeah. No. But also with us, Jerry Dale. He is the KOA campground owner in Manchester, Tennessee. And good morning, guys.
How you doing,
Good
Larry?
morning, Larry.
All right, we can tell the voices there. I just want my voice, radio voice out there to know which one it is Mike. Mike and Jerry. Mike, first of all, thanks for being with us. And I see that you, like me, have a newspaper background. And how did that? That's pretty amazing.
It works really well for the business I'm in now. It was kind of a smooth transition, and as you know, as former newspaper guys, the future wasn't real great there.
Yes.
And so you got to spend these sunset years in something you love to do, and I love outdoors and I love camping just like you do. So it was a good fit for me.
Well, you've been with us since 2001. That's when I retired from the Memphis newspaper after 34 years, including the last 14 as the outdoor editor. And I know my predecessor, Henry Reynolds, was at the paper 44 years, and he had a thing called Reynolds Rolling Roost. And I think he rolled all the way, every campground in the United States probably. But tell us, Mike, from your perspective, 55 years. I did not have any idea. That's amazing.
We were born on the banks of the Yellowstone River here in Billings, Montana. Our home office is still in Billings, Montana. That's where I'm sitting today. And an entrepreneur by the name of Dave Drum came up with the idea back in 1962 to have a nice little roadside campground because he was watching people go to the Seattle World's Fair, and there was really no place to stay. So he kind of came up with the first real basic campground, and it was such a big hit that some friends of his just talked him into going into the franchising business. And lo and behold, here 55 years later, we've got over 500 locations all over North America and the U.S. and Canada.
That is amazing when you think about it. And the name itself is so it's Campgrounds with a K.
Yeah.
The government wouldn't let us register with a C for some reason back in 1964.
I was wondering.
So we very quickly moved it to a K, and it's stuck there ever since.
Well, it sounds better than COA. I don't know. There's something about the KOA is part of it. And I know that, Jerry, you and your late wife you've been at Manchester. How long have you had that facility?
We just hit 15 years.
15 years. Where are you from?
Well, I came from Nashville. We had, and then Melbourne before that, Florida. So,
okay. So
but we were already in the Nashville area. We had a carpet cleaning company at the time, and sort of like Mike said, that carpeting is leaving houses. So we did the same thing. We sort of shifted our gears there.
And Manchester now, for my listeners out here, is about how far from Nashville?
Well, it's really halfway between Chattanooga and Nashville.
Yes,
and even close to Huntsville, Alabama. So we basically started as an overnighter, and then people discovered us and decided that they wanted to come see us as their place to come to.
And you take pride in your facility, don't you?
We really have been able to create. The campers have let us create an awesome location.
Yeah.
So we have things here that are unheard of on some campgrounds, and some of the new stuff we've done is teepees. We got the Sand Mountain playground, and jump pads, racetrack, big inflatable racetrack, a pet patio site, and concrete tent sites, and covered concrete. So we've really tried to push the envelope on what we've done here.
Well, teepees
and the campers allowed it.
Yeah, well, teepees ought to fit in good with Billings, Montana, where it started. So it works along that. And Mike, in the old days, we'll say back in the '60s, what's been the change that KOA has been able to sustain over these years and continue to have places? I know you closed one in Memphis here. It was for Graceland coming into Memphis. It was not in a good location. I'll say it right off the bat. But you guys have been able to sustain for so many years. What do you look back and perspective and what it was like and what a KOA campground is today?
Well, Jerry said it really well. It's really driven by what the campers will allow, and so we've always been, since that very first year, a very data-driven company. We do a lot of surveying throughout the year. We talk to over 250,000 of our campers through electronic surveys now. As soon as you check out of a KOA, as soon as your email immediately gets a short, 3 or 4 question survey from us asking about that state particularly and about that campground, and we give that feedback right back to the owner immediately.
So he knows, or they know how the experience that the guest had.
And if even if there was a problem, if the pool was cold, the owner might not be aware, but he can go right down there and fix that. And so we're very reactive that way. And in the bigger picture, we can see the trends emerging and stay in front of those. And so over the years, camping used to be, we used to. It was all about the convenience to the highway, and that's kind of where everything started. And then it's evolved to being where people want to not just stay while they're enjoying their vacation, it's where they have their vacation. So we've had to get very proactive with food services at a lot of locations and with recreation on a lot of locations. That's why you see things. We also saw the trend that people were bringing their pets with them.
Yeah.
So no longer was Fido going to stay at home in a kennel. He was coming along, and that was a big reason why people like to RV and why they like to camp. So all of our campgrounds by 2000 will have official Camp Canine pet parks, so they're off-leash parks. Most of them have them already. We're just making that a requirement as they go forward, so that after a long day on the road, folks can take their dog out and turn them loose into this nice manicured area where they can run around and burn off some of that energy, because we know that over half of our campers are traveling with pets.
Well, sure.
And so and the same thing, and we've seen trends that just in the last few years. Of course, the baby boomers like me, there's this huge bubble of baby boomers that we're still working through.
Yes.
And we thought, well, that's where our future lies. But what's happened now is the Gen X generation and even the millennials are catching on to camping. And the majority of campers in the United States now are millennials and Gen X. I mean, that it's almost 70% of those are under 40. And that means more kids. So that means we got to have more programs for kids and more playgrounds for kids. And that's why innovators like Jerry have done such a wonderful job staying in front of that, because they listen to what the campers say.
And, what other thing can say that young people are coming? That's the amazing thing. I was looking at this thing that Jessica Hamilton sent out to me about multiple trips, Jerry. I mean, not just one time they're going to come to your place. They may come 2 or 3 times, right?
Yeah, if you thrill them to death, they'll tell everybody about you and come back.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Mike was talking about the pet. We have a pet patio site where you actually fence in. Well, the pets love it when the master gets fenced in with them, too. So it's a fenced-in site. It's a patio. And it's just glorious, and people just love it. And like I said, the pets love it when you fence in the master with them too.
And you don't have to pull a hook up or anything like that with these tents. Now, did you have you have the cabins? I guess assume you have.
Well,
these...
we have cabins. You can upgrade from a tent to even the fabulous concrete patios tent. To, cabin. We have one that has a jacuzzi tub, a queen size bed, a bunk bed over that, and showers and bathrooms.
I believe they call that glamping.
Glamping?
Glamping, yeah. High-end camping.
They're not wanting to rough it anymore.
No. Roughing is not that.
The baby boomers were allowing that for a cheap price, but the campers today want to pay money, and the more you offer, the less the money that you're charging means to them.
And, Mike, I know that with you as we go into the winter season, a lot of people say, well, I enjoy the winter season a lot more than the hot weather sometimes. And you guys with that many locations, I can't imagine. So the operation is not just summertime or whatever it might be, vacation time. You guys are mostly open all year, right?
We about half of our campgrounds closed down for the season. They're in the process of closing down right now, but more than half of them stay open. We kind of flip over to more of a long-term season, the folks that like to go south for the winter and enjoy the sunshine. And so the campgrounds in the southern climates kind of flip over. But we do have a few that hardy ones that stay open, and we have a couple in Montana that stay open all year.
Oh, come on.
Except campers. So, and as Jerry pointed out, we've got over almost on our way to 400 of our locations now that have what we call deluxe cabins with bathrooms and full kitchens and all that. And one thing that I'll point out that campers are going to see it as they're researching where to stay. We've kind of rebranded our campgrounds into Journeys, KOA Journeys, KOA Holidays, and KOA Resorts. And we're doing that so that folks can quickly understand what they're going to get when they're searching for a campground. And Jerry, for instance, is the Manchester KOA is a KOA Holiday, which means they have a certain level of amenities and facilities that are consistent with that KOA Holiday brand. So if they like that level of comfort that Jerry offers, they can look for other holidays along the way. And the KOA Journeys are typically really nice and easy overnight stops for easy on, easy off the highway. And the resorts are full boats. I mean, those are the ones that you can get a couple of meals a day, and a lot of our campgrounds, not just resorts, offer meal service where you can order up a pizza, for instance, and have it delivered to your site.
The old KOA is all the new KOAs now.
Well, that's
new and improved.
After new and improved, just the size of the camping units itself.
They got big.
Back
they got big.
Back when they first started, everybody was pulling the little pop up. Now you got
Coleman pop up.
Now you got slide outs and everything else on these trailers. And
well, I pulled a Coleman pop up from Memphis to Calgary and on up into Banff and all the 6,200 miles, and KOA saved me 3 or 4 times. Other than the
I've got a question for Jerry.
All right.
Being where he's located, do you get a lot of? Is your campground full during the big Bonnaroo festival? Do you get a lot?
Bonnaroo, we have a special event. I've hired out limos to go back and forth backstages. We actually got a picture of Paul McCartney waving at us at our location because we were backstage, and we hired a downtown limo. So this gets to be where it's a real high dollar package. We treat him like a king, but we give him everything a king deserves.
Wow, that's pretty cool. And I appreciate you, Jerry, taking time from your business there in Manchester. Been by there many times, and one of my favorite places to visit in the summer is Billings. So, I don't know. Has it snowed yet up there, Jerry? I mean, Mike, has it snowed yet?
It's just a little bit of a skiff now. We're just enjoying the beautiful fall up here now. But the leaves are going fast, so one good wind and it's going to be gone.
It's going to be gone.
And I'd point out too that we've got 15 great KOAs in Tennessee, not counting the one across the river in Arkansas for you in Memphis. But there's a lot of great spots, and the beautiful thing about Manchester is, as we keep saying, Jerry's one of our innovators. He's a listener, and he listens closely to what his campers are telling him. And we really pride ourselves. We think we've survived those 55 years because we listen to what the campers are looking for.
I'm sure the folks that operate your campgrounds are people that are quality. If your campground is only as good as sometimes the people who run it, and I can tell by just talking to Jerry that he runs a nice campground. You got to be people friendly. Hey guys, thank you for being on Outdoors with Larry Ray, and thank Mike Gast for being with us, and Jerry Dale, and folks. I can tell you between Chattanooga and Nashville on Interstate 24. Take time to stop by and see Jerry. And Halloween's coming up, and he's going to have a trick-or-treat thing there, too. Right, Jerry?
Yeah, I got a trick-or-treat train where we take the kids on the choo-choo train.
All right.
For trick-or-treat candy.
Are you the driver?
Yeah, I really like to be part of them things. So
Okay.
I'm the owner. I can pick what I want to do.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's the way it
It's
goes.
good to be the king.
Yeah, it is good to do.
Good
Thank
to be
you
the king.
guys very much. Y'all have a great day, and we'll talk again, okay?
All right, thank you so much, Larry.
Thank you. Let's take a break on Outdoors with Larry Ray and see if we can talk a little bit more camping with our good friends at Browning and Alps. Be right back.
You can find out all about it